What's going on, guys? So today we are going to be checking out this video right here, and it is random weird things in Australia. This is going to be an interesting video, so let's get right onto it and see what we got. I think she's actually from the Netherlands, so getting her perspective of the whole situation, I mean, that would be pretty interesting. So let's get on with it, guys.
Today I wanted to talk about a few things that I find weird in Australia. Before I begin, out of previous experience, I know I have to make two disclaimers, so here we go.
Okay, what could they be?
I live in Victoria, and more specifically in the Melbourne area, and if you're one of those people who think that all Australians are the same and share a nice stubby around the barbie, you're gonna be wrong. Because all the different states house very different people, and even within a specific state, people can be very different. So if I'm saying something that you haven't experienced or you think is wrong, it might be right for me.
Okay, I understand
I
it.
don't mean weird in a bad way. I know I'm in a different country. I know things are gonna be different if I'm in a different country, and I don't mean it's weird as in it's bad. It's just that it's different for me. And the main reason I call it weird is because YouTube likes this word, and if you think that's a shallow reason, then go look up the most popular video on my channel right now.
Okay, so like saying weird, yeah, we don't, like, even when I say weird, when I mean weird, I mean like it's different to what I'm used to, so don't get me wrong when I also say weird, guys. Let's keep going.
Start off with number one, which is basically the whole reason that I'm making this video, is advertisements on the radio. So a while back, Evan Edinger made a video with Jay Foreman about advertisements and how they're different in England and in the US. And that finally made me realize what I find so weird about the Australian advertisement on the radio. Because the thing is, there's no segregation. Because right after the newsreader tells you that there is a pileup on the M3, it will straight go to, do you want a house loan? And it's like the same person saying it in the same voice. And it just baffles me. It just messes with my brain because I'm used to newsreaders reading the news and advertisements being advertisements. People who read the news in the Netherlands won't ever tell you an advertisement. They're supposed to be objective. Sorry, they're supposed to be objective and not subjective, and advertisements are very subjective. So it just feels really weird for me to hear this newsreader read out the traffic or read out the news and then straight on tell me that there's a bucket deal at KFC. It's just
okay,
really...
so I understand what she means here, like, while you're listening to the radio, you know, casual radio, and then the same guy goes on and actually like says, like, speaks about an advertisement with the same voice. I mean, that gets you a bit confused. Like, you don't know if that's part of the radio or if it's part of an advertisement, you know? So I actually understand what she means here. And I can agree, you know? I mean, it will be a bit weird, like, hearing the same voices, because we usually listen to different voices, like, pop up when you hear an advertisement, like, maybe to grab your attention in a sort of way. But yeah, anyways.
Weird. I just realized I'm talking pretty fast today. I'll try to slow down. And what's better to
you're
slow
talking
down
fine.
than sugar? Because the thing is, here in Australia, they call all candies and sweets lollies.
Lollies.
And why this is so weird to me is because when we learn English in school, aka British basically, you will learn the word candy or sweets. Candy is a bit more...
Okay, for me, when I say lollies, I mean like those lollipops, you know, the circular things which you just suck on. That's what I call a lolly.
American, I believe. Anyway, there is this whole like covering word for all sweets, all candies.
Okay.
And lollies are a hard candy on a stick. It's like...
That's the one I was
slice
talking
candy.
about.
But here, wine gums and lollies and hard candies, everything is called lollies.
Okay.
It's so weird. I just realized I'm gonna be saying weird a lot in this video. One thing that I missed when I made my video about driving in Australia is the petrol prices. The petrol prices here go up and down like a freaking yo-yo. I have seen the petrol price...
Well, that's a good comparison, not gonna lie.
...from 125 one day up to 165 the next
Wow,
day.
that is a
then
big
down to
difference, though.
145 the other, like the day after.
Jeez,
it literally
okay.
just bounces up and down.
That's
and
weird.
back in the Netherlands, it's much more regulated, and it's also that the petrol stations can't actually divert that much of the price, and it's bound to like the oil price in the world or something like that. Here it seems like they can just do whatever. It's just really weird how quick it bounces up and down.
Okay.
If you put it in perspective, even
That's interesting.
165 Australian dollars is still relatively cheap if you know what the prices are in Europe. But the fact it can just change 20 or 40 cents per liter in a day is just bizarre. I have absolutely no idea what the regulations are on this or why these prices even go up and down that much, so please don't pin me down.
I don't even know myself how they like say today this is the price, tomorrow this is the price. I'm not sure how that works either, so as well, don't get me wrong, guys.
Any of this, but it's just something that I noticed and I find really weird. And the last thing that I want to mention as weird is just because of the story behind it. And Australians, please don't hate me for this. Maybe you don't even know this story yourself. So here we go. One thing I find weird in Australia is Canberra.
Canberra.
And the reason why Canberra is weird to me is because so many people outside of Australia don't know that it's actually the capital of Australia. A lot of people would think it's Sydney.
Yeah.
However, Sydney has never been the capital of Australia. Melbourne has. So the story goes that after Australia got like government, those kind of things, they were debating who would be the capital of their new country. And both Sydney and Melbourne were making a claim to be the capital. And they
like, I'm sure if you like go out in the streets, not in Australia of course, but like let's say USA, and you actually ask people like what is the capital of Australia, I'm sure many people will vote for Sydney or Melbourne. I'm not sure they'll guess Canberra, honestly. Even I didn't know that like a few days ago, to be honest, so
they were just having this stupid fight over it and they couldn't like come to a conclusion, so they were basically like, we'll just build a new capital. So they built Canberra.
That's just shocking though.
Of Melbourne and Sydney, and they actually also gave it its own little state, so it wouldn't be like, oh, Sydney isn't the capital but at least it's in the state of New South Wales. No, they actually made their own little state for that little capital so that no one could fight over it.
Wow.
Come on, if that is not weird to
that
you,
is
like,
weird, bro.
It's such a dumb thing that like grown men couldn't come to a conclusion which city should be the freaking capital, so they just build a new one. And this also hits home the first thing that I said in this video.
That is weird,
and that is that Australians can be very different, and especially Melbourne and Sydney seem to have some kind of rivalry going on, and Canberra is the result of it. So I hope you enjoyed this dumb little video about things I find weird in Australia.
Wow.
Please don't attack me in the comments because you have a different opinion. We're all entitled to experience things differently and phrase things differently, I guess. If I at least managed to entertain you a little bit, please give me a...
So yeah guys, that was that video. As we saw, there were quite a few weird things here. The capital of Australia, that's the most weird, I would say, like in my opinion. Don't get me wrong guys, but yeah, let me know if there's any other weird things in Australia maybe you find weird yourself, or maybe tourists in your like area come and find like a little weird. So yeah, comment all that down below guys. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel as well. It really does help me out. And yeah guys, we'll see you on the next video. Peace out everyone.